Your potential placement in top 8. We'll have to see though. I'm getting a little too excited, Fortnite fam. I want to see more of this. But yeah, look, I think we're getting ready. Battle bus. The players are boarding. Will be there in just a moment. I think we have a package here in just a moment. But what do you think, man? So, do you think, like, I don't know, where is Aqua? Did we see him? Is he on page 1?
They're not in this heat.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's different heats. It's
different heat.
There is heat 1. So,
which brings me to my
again, just to
next
remind
point.
people, is a little too excited here. There are 4 heats coming through in Europe. 8 teams will be advancing and going on. And the way you're able to kind of score and work your way up is through eliminations and placing higher up. Though in Europe, particularly, they have the highest amount of participation. So all of these players they are at the very tippy top. Right? This is the top 0.001%. Right. These are the best of the best and the people who are very able to like compete against these guys. So like they're able to elevate their game on a particular day. However, as we're sitting here and able to like have our own predictions, there's a reason we all think Mitro, Mongo, and Benji have done it. There are repeated trios who have shown they're consistently stronger and that much better than the rest. It's not like we're basing this off of like who our favorite players are, right? It's going and looking at it and breaking it down. But for now, we're going to throw to a 10-minute break while we sort some stuff out on our end. We'll go talk to the bus driver, try and get that going. You guys take your bio breaks, whatever you need. We'll be right back.
Hello family of Fortnite, AllTW here, and throughout the Fortnite Champion Series, we're going to be trying to get more acquainted with the world of competitive Fortnite. Today, we're going to be discussing the 3 different stages of a competitive Fortnite game. The early game, the mid game, and the late game. And what different players have as their goals during these stages in order to achieve the ultimate. Let's start with the early game, also called the looting phase. This is where all players are attempting to secure their chosen landing spot and maximize their loot potential. In competitive Fortnite, every game matters, so players try to strike a balance between high loot opportunity and safety so as to not waste a game by being eliminated early. You drop at a high loot POI like Retail Row or Paradise Palms, or land at a safer POI on the edge of the map, where less players drop because of less loot. Regardless, the goal is common, whether you take a passive approach by looting safely on the side of the map, or an aggressive and risky approach by letting others loot for you and finding early elimination. Now that we know what the early game is, what should we be looking out for during this stage? First things first, contesting. The first realization players make when landing is whether you're being contested or not, to prepare for the upcoming possible fight. Trios want to try to push your opponents to the more disadvantageous position to cut off other potential. Either they have to make a desperation push, or they're stuck with less loot where you can easily clean up. That's just the beginning, as even though it starts off high intensity with all the different POIs being contested, it quickly slows down. The rotations begin to its full circle. Looting doesn't end here. Most competitive players will have a loot pack which optimizes their possibility for finding additional ability and weapon upgrades. Thanks to the battle map feature in the replay mode, we can study these loot paths and rotations quite easily these days. Go check that out in the replay Fortnite Champion Series, going to the compete tab and finding your favorite player. It will vary from game to game, but generally, we're moving the mid-game around the middle to end of second zone. It's too strong where it forces the engagements. Most players' goals are positional, but in some cases, depending on how the early game went, you again have to strike a balance, this time between looting and farming, or going for the best position. Looting could include playing extremely aggressive to earn yourself other players' loot. In trios, it's much harder to play that aggressive playstyle, since fights take longer and cost more. You want to be efficient with any rotations or fights you have to take. You don't want to spend your precious mobility, valuable resources, or health. This is where you'll see a lot of the top players look directly for center zone in the mid game. When you're in the center zone, you end up giving yourself the most chance of being in the next storm circle when it gets revealed. Thus spend less materials. Finally, the end game. The most exciting, hectic, thrilling, and difficult part of competitive Fortnite. Experiencing an endgame can be confusing and hard to process, but it will also be one of the most rewarding and fun times to play and watch. This is when you take all the advantages you built in the early game and the mid game and use them to push yourself to a victory royale, and also find as many eliminations as possible. In the current Fortnite Champion Series format, every elimination matters, just like it did in the World Cup. From 6th zone onwards, where the calm from the mid-game explodes into a cacophony of tunneling, mobility usage, and shots being fired, you'll see teams go for the ever-so-advantageous high ground, where they can tunnel very cheaply and have the most opportunity on the rest of the server for elimination, as they have the top-down view. You'll also see teams call out the need to find a good layer. which is away from other players, both above, below, and horizontally from you. You'll see teams desperate for the extra materials to last them through to the full zone closure, going for impact eliminations where they can top off on resources and power weaponry of their fallen opponents. So, whether you're watching or you're joining us on the field, take stock in the stage of the game. The early game, when you're trying to get the best possible loot while it's still available. The mid game, where you're balancing positioning while maintaining what you many series pointing weekend after weekend. And looking next time, we're watching. This was RTW, and I'll see you in game.
On how it's used and misused at crucial moments in the game. To get started, we're going to discuss what shockwaves are and some of the basics of using them. Shockwave grenades are a thrown item that dies 2 with an actual stack size of 6. When thrown, the shockwave launches anyone within its tile-and-a-half radius far distances, destroying builds in the process, with the added protection from fall damage for the players who use them. The most effective way to gain maximum distance is climbing up well with a shockwave right below you, angling yourself above it for higher vertical movement, or towards the side of it in midair for horizontal coverage. If you do use a shockwave to rotate through builds late game, you will only be able to go through about 5 rolls of metal before you come to a stop. When going for height, if you don't get stopped by any opposing player's builds at all, you can reach upwards of 7.5 miles in height, giving anyone above you a surprise and changing both yours and your enemy's game plan in a split second. Although really easy to understand and use individually, once entering the atmosphere of trios and teamwork, the use of shockwaves enters a whole new dimension. There are deciding factors in win conditions if used properly, allowing for easy positioning and rotations. Using them and sticking together after the landing is efficient, and puts your whole trio online, ready to fire, and not saving these grenades from little use springs and shock to the whole server. Looking at 8th and 9th zones with densely packed endgames, vertical shockwaves in high ground and mid ground players in trouble. Giving patient trios and surviving solos a way to counter long tarps and bases towering above them. Facing off against these players usually turbo building walls on the way up from your shockwave can work against this though, but gives your newfound height or foundation easily shot out and focused from below. Panicking with shockwaves in your own box and misusing them is always an irreversible mistake during the game, giving you poor positioning split away from your trio, costing you building resources, or ultimately you and your teammates their entire health and shield pool if used at the absolute incorrect moment. To counteract the chaos from shockwaves, new and clean strategies are put in place to negate the negatives and potential mishaps in certain situations. When going for height, separately boxing up before using the shockwaves and going for height then allows you to have power in numbers as 3 players get a vertical rotation together, overwhelming the competition. Discovering new positioning and shockwave throwing angles and targets within your box might keep your trio and teammates closer together when using one shockwave to rotate, saving crucial mats and attracting less attention during the mid-game rotation. You also save your total shockwave count by doing this, allowing for more rotate mid-game. Add measures can be taken too, such as keeping a teammate higher than normal, multiple layers above you, as in the event of a vertical shockwave, you still have someone up high, laying down, and support the trio on the rotation. Keeping your own shockwave the more likely a chance there is for a messy repeat shockwave surface happening all at the same time. Player after player gets sent flying in the sky, teammates all get sent around in identifying these mistakes, staying in your lane, and watching teams move is a good way to anticipate and prevent disasters from striking before it happens. Although an item overloading has single ability to reverse, the potential and efficiency of using shockwave grenades as a trio separates the high plays are set up before they happen. Move up stakes,
of all, sorry about that. We had a little bit of issues on our side with the European matches and watching. There's been a ton of Fortnite action going on this morning. I just want to say, my predictions for Middle East are looking pretty good. I know Z kind of hinted at it, but you can check out on the FN and the Twitter and also on the YouTube some of our prediction and our preview piece we were able to go through, and we talked about what some of our predictions, particularly in the Middle East and European region, are. So make sure you get up to date on that, get what our thoughts and opinions are. But we're going to be hopping into Middle East region in just a second here. And honestly, I'm excited. It's going to be the first time seeing Middle East in outside of the open. And honestly, looking at the heats afterward, there are a lot of big changes now up on the board here. You can see there were some differences in the predictions. One, I will say, I was the one who predicted Flame, Prime, and Hunter up there, so swap the Zeke and I's names, but otherwise, Bots, Hero Kappa, and Fiesel were the favorites going through. They performed pretty well. You will be seeing them in the Middle East. So predictions so far are holding steady, and it's going to be exciting once we get in. There is a different style of play, different types of gameplay from all over the regions, but enough from me. I've talked about what's going on over to Lupo and Monster as they take you into Middle East Heat 2, Match 1.
Sundown, thank you very much. Just a quick note to those at home. Occasionally we run into issues on the cast. Do your best to not get too worked up about it. There's a lot of things at play here, so
You have to imagine a 10-minute break is an insanely short amount of time to as you can see here on your screen, Heat 2 Game 1 of the Middle East region. Down here, pressure in the bottom of the pump shotgun. An early blue pump shotgun in tilted down. Honestly, one of the most powerful weapons you can get. It's so hard for it. So many up-close fights, too.
Such a clean shot. That's one of the perks of landing tilted town. You know you're going to get a blue shot. You know you're leaving a blue pump, you're leaving with shockwave, you're guaranteed heals. Like, guaranteed minimum. Not only that, you're probably going to get yourself some launch pads as well. So, if you want to guarantee your loadout, and you stick around just to get back to the lobby. Not much you can do there. You catch one pick, maybe you get a point for your leaderboard, basically. But let's hit that.
Tough spot to be in. Yeah, and you're saying early game has such a refined tool. The trade-off.